G'day everyone and welcome to a YOWIE communication video. This is part 3 of my most recent communication with a YOWIE. How do I communicate with a YOWIE? I have a good friend, Fifi MUNRO, animalhealing.net.au. She is an extremely gifted healer, a medium. I don't know the exact words to describe her, but she has a gift where she can tap into energy of animals. She can tap into earth energy. We get her. Now, this is the last video I'm going to do on this communication, so I want to say thank you to one person, not Fifi, to Brendan. Once again, Brendan, absolute champion bloke, one of the best supporters of our channel. He funds these videos. So I wanted to wait to the last video to say thank you to Brendan. Mate, I say it to you in person or through our messages. You bankrolling these communications means that they can happen, because I don't have a whole lot of cash to splash around. So thank you so much, man. I hope these answers gave you a little bit of an excitement. Now, mentioning Brendan, I gave him the right, because he's paid for these sessions, I gave him the right to throw some questions. So the last questions of these sessions, I think it's the last 4 or 5, are his questions. And one of them, awesome. All right. Anyway, let's get to the communication. All right, we open up this session with, are you associated with what we call orbs at all, and how? Now, we all know that a lot of people, myself included, have seen orbs in the bush, lights that make no sense. Lights that move, lights that are stationary, lights that look like they're dancing, and then very often you will get a YOWIE something after that. So the question was, are you associated with these things? And the answer was no. Now, maybe there's a misunderstanding of what the orbs were meant to be. Maybe I should have said light phenomena. And maybe I'll do that in the next one. Editing Craig, question about light phenomena for the next communication session. But according to this, those orbs is not YOWIEs. So that might be something else. Another cryptid, another elemental nature being. I don't know. But they're not YOWIEs according to this. Next question. What is your connection to energy? Simple as that. What is your connection to energy? Answer. Life is all connected to the one spirit energy, which, by the way, reflects my personal belief systems. So this is interesting in that it's a completely other source. I'm not involved in this. I'm not there meditating or anything involved in this, but this is getting the same information that I've had come to me through my life. Anyway, and so many other people. Life is all connected to the one spirit energy, some deeper than others. So some beings are connected at a deeper level energetically, and I would say these YOWIE beings are connected at a very deep level. Would you have a suggestion as to how I would awaken my 6th chakra? In a previous video, Nadgicamb suggested that I open my 6th chakra to be able to communicate. Basically be able to do what Fifi does. And I haven't had much success doing that. He said, listen to your intuition and heart. Lovely advice. Unfortunately, not quite the detail that I needed, but he's basically saying go with your gut. If you feel like you've got an answer to how to open your 6th chakra, go with it. If someone tells you a way to do it and it feels right, go with it. Okay. I wanted step by step. I wanted a shortcut, but anyway. How does awakening my 6th chakra help me to see and communicate with you? It opens your awareness up to telepathy and other realms. Other realms. Anyway. Can you tell me, that question, the answer was, can you tell me anything about the way you live in this 3D reality? And he said, I did already, which is true. All right, this is where we start getting good. All right. Have you or your people ever communicated with humans? The answer, the exact same style of humor as a previous video. Yes, I am communicating now. Full stop. Not so much face-to-face though, too difficult. Needs more spiritual awareness, intuition, and ley lines. So I really need to go for a drive and camp out where us humans have stated that ley lines are. They're more north than where I go here. I believe I'm on a minor ley line here, but I need to go to a major ley line and just listen to my gut, listen to my intuition, and take it from there and see if I can communicate. Because these things, these beings are clearly super connected and associated with ley lines, song lines. Do our government, or does our government know about your species? This is a good one because there's lots of stories about government this, government that. And if so, are they enemies to you or in peaceful communication? So, does our government know about your species? Answer, yes. Yes. So those stories about governments, this, that, might be true. But he goes on to say, but we don't feel they understand. And that would make perfect sense. I don't believe the government would be accepting, or people in the government would be accepting of this kind of information as we are. I could be wrong. Maybe they have entire departments committed to this kind of mystical information. But according to this, yes, we communicate with your governments, but we feel they don't understand. Very interesting. Now, this is one about me. I would like to respectfully establish interaction with you in this 3D physical reality. Can you suggest the way I could best do this without disrespecting you or your culture? I need it to be known that I really want to have an interaction, but I don't want to disrespect them. The answer. This is so cool because I can do this, man. I just got to get to a ley line. Meditation on ley lines without any kind of expectation. Have an empty mind. Now that I can do. That we can all do. 6 chakra opening, maybe I can't do. But meditating in a ley line area with an empty mind, with no expectations, I can totally do that. So that's going to be something I've got to do. Even if I've got to drive 7 hours to get there, I've got to go to the ley lines. Do you know where one of the most intense ley line areas in at least this part of Australia is? The Pillager. The Pillager. Where everyone says if you got balls, go and camp out alone in the Pillager. Where everyone says that evil, aggressive Yowies will stalk and attack you. The Pillager. Maybe they're like that because they're sick of people coming, not understanding. So maybe if I went there with the right intentions and understanding, maybe I would have something happen. But I need to meditate on a ley line with an empty mind. So cool. This next one, I got goosebumps again, man, and it's not because it's getting cold. Can you suggest a good area for me to meet or sense you? Or could you tell me if I've ever stayed in an area which you and your people visit often? Selfish moment. I love this answer, man. You can tell by the smirk on my face. Answer. We see your quest and understand and respect your search. That's so cool. And yes, you have been in areas we visit. Which one? Which area? It's all been in this general area unless it's the Blue Mountains. So all the sightings that have been in Wadigans don't seem like they're rubbish. And I hope he's talking generally and not one specific spot. I mean, I've seen those huge structures, I've heard things, I've smelt things. So this is very cool. But to have this being Nadgicamb say, and I just want to find it and read it again, say to me that they see my quest and understand and respect my search. That is so reassuring and so amazing because I just really want them to understand that I'm coming at this from a good place, that I'm not trying to fake stuff, I'm not trying to chase after them and get the money shot, although don't get me wrong, I have a camera here, right? So if a yo was to walk by behind me, oh, that would be pretty freaking amazing. But my intention is pure, and that's them basically saying that they're aware that my intention is pure, which is validation that everything I'm trying, when the cameras are off, the greetings I give to the land, the meditations I do, the clapstick rituals that I do, that all of this is working, and that my purity of heart is working. I know it sounds like I'm a little bit ego here, but that just made me happy, man. That made me really happy. All right, next question. What is the best way I could demonstrate my respect for you and your people while I am out in nature? And I'm doing this later tonight when the sun goes down. Feel the earth holding you. Be still in your being and your mind. So they must get some kind of joy about us connecting with the planet. Right? And I swear your feeling changes every time you touch a tree like this. Every time. So I'm going to sit here later tonight and just feel the earth holding me. I'm not going to film it because it sounds stupid and it'll be boring. But I'm going to do this, and hopefully I'll be flicking that camera on afterwards and saying that was amazing, XYZ happened. Don't hold your breath, but you know. Anyway. Very, very cool. Now, I finished this. We're trying to get a bit of language down. This is another thing that I want to do. I want to slowly learn some things, some parts of their language. If they'll teach me, I'll learn it. So I said, could you please tell me the following words in your language? And it was very hard to pick the right 4 words that I could actually use. But I picked friend, hello, goodbye, and I am here. Now Fifi said, now I do believe nagum was a word that we had been told previously for friend. Nagum. And that clashes with this answer. So I don't know enough about their language to know if that is calling BS on this answer or confusion or something. I don't know, but here it is. So friend was a grunt and snuff sound. Grunt and snuff sound. So if you hear a grunt and a snuff, that could be a Yowie communicating positive friend. Hello is howling, and I did that when I walked in. I am here is a long howl. Now, I would assume that when these people say that they've heard a Bigfoot cry, scream, howl, and it went for forever, I think that's what they're referencing. Longer than I could do. You know, the screams and the growls and the calls that last, 20, 30 seconds or whatever the people say they last. That is a Yowie, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, hairy man saying, I'm here. Whether it means back up. Maybe if it's a long howl with an aggressive tone, it's I'm here, back up. If it's a long howl with a more less aggressive tone, then maybe it's I'm here, I'm just letting you know. I don't know. But so howling is hello, a long howl is I am here. Friend is a grunt and a snuff sound, and goodbye, yow, yow. Y-A-O-W, twice, yow, yow. Like chow, chow? Yow, yow, I don't know. So there you go. Now, let's get on to Brendan's questions. These are the last 5 questions. I left them to the end because this guy bankrolled this thing, and so he gets the last word. His question. I had no input into these questions. I asked them exactly as he sent them to me. I didn't change anything about this, so if you want to know more about these questions, put a question for Brendan in the comments. Do you consider time to be a dimension, or are other dimensions more like an overlay of our current reality? Right? So is time a dimension, or are the other dimensions overlaid with ours? Answer, an illusion. Life unfolds endlessly. So dimensions are an illusion? Time is an illusion. Time is an illusion. That's what it's saying. Time to be a dimension? No. Time is an illusion, which is absolutely correct. Time is an illusion. We create it. There is no such thing as time. The only thing that exists is patterns. On a cosmic scale, everything has a pattern. If you were to zoom out far enough, you would see, stars pulsating. There's like a cosmic rhythm. I think if you were to fast forward quick enough and zoom out far enough, you'd see the whole universe is in a constant rhythm like a song. And we wonder why we are so intimately connected to music. Because the very nature of our world is in rhythm. If you zoom back from Earth and press fast forward, you can see the seasons changing. It looks like a breath. It looks like the Earth is breathing. Trees breathe. They expand and they contract as they're sucking water up. Lots of things happen in a rhythm. All right? That's what it's saying. Life unfolds endlessly. Yeah. When you look into a microscope, and you look at the cell and you realize that the most zoomed in you can get on that cell, and then it starts mirroring that small magnified cell looks exactly like the largest thing in the universe. You realize that life is unfolding endlessly on itself in almost a spiral out tool. When you look at the energy signature of the human brain and you compare it to the universe itself and the location of all the galaxies and solar systems and everything, those two things look near identical. So life has a pattern, life has a rhythm, and it unfolds endlessly. And I would say you can't stop going in and you wouldn't be able to stop going out if you had the technology. You would just keep unveiling more and more and more. Cool question, cooler answer. How many dimensions are you aware of? Brendan thought the answer would be 8. Yeah, Nadgicamb's answer is 14 dimensions that he is aware of. Take or leave that for whatever you want. Now this is a big question. There are many reports of displays of aggression against people, but without any actual harm coming to them. Is that because you just want us to go away? Answer. We are protectors, and certain humans, due to their inherent disconnection to Earth, destroy life. So yes, we want them to stop and come back to knowing the deeper connection within life. So they will drive certain people away. They don't want them around because of their destructive tendencies. I loved this question. This is the question I loved. Do you have any memories or connections to previous human civilizations such as Atlantis, Lemuria, or Mu? I was once upon a time obsessed with these concepts of previous civilizations. I have an entire bookshelf full of almost every book ever written on the topic, and I've read them all. But unfortunately, the answer is no. They are different beings. We might ask more questions about this in the future, but no, Yowies are not connected to Atlantis, Lemuria, or Mu. They are different beings. Note, they didn't say they're human like us. They are different beings. So that's something to rattle around your nugget a little bit. Last question. Last question. Often when people report Yowie, Bigfoot, Sasquatch, Hairy Man interactions, they recall that the other animals and insects of the forest go silent and still. We all know that, right? Everything goes quiet when a Yowie's around. Is this something that you make happen at will, or something that happens naturally? Is it because you can communicate with the other animals? So he's basically looking for an answer as to why everything goes quiet when they're around. Answer. Fear makes life in nature go still. It's like it comes out in waves. Animals, as is, go still when they face a predator. And humans too, I guess. But also their own fears from lack of connection. So basically he's saying that the silence is a fear response for whatever reason. If I was to hear something that would make me fearful right now, I wouldn't go, "Ah!" I'd go dead quiet and I'd freeze. Nadgicamb is basically saying that's exactly what the animals are doing. They're freezing. Freezing to the spot. Maybe because they just don't understand what the heck's going on. I don't know. So, that is the last question of this Yowie communication. What an absolutely epic communication session it was. We learned a lot. And if you go back and watch the first video again and watch these 3 back to back to back, you'll find things that you missed in there and you'll rediscover them and think about them. But they came from space in spaceships. I don't know how that makes sense if they're energy beings, but we're going to have to go with it. I don't get that. I'm going to have to ponder that a little bit more. But they basically exist and they live within a stream of energy, which is a ley line, and they can manifest into this reality from that reality at will in order to balance the energies. They are aware of my work and they are telling me to meditate with an open, still mind and feel as if the earth is holding me. There's a lot. I could keep going on, but you watched it, you heard it, you're aware of it. So thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this. These sessions absolutely contribute to my theories on what these things are, and they contribute to how I research going forward. So they're not for nothing. This is research. People call this craziness. People call this psycho. People call this believing what you want to believe. I call this examining every possible avenue of research to come to an answer. I'm not a hunter, so I can't research the try and get a dead body avenue, but I can do this, so I'm doing this. So I hope you guys appreciated this. Thanks to Brendan again for setting this actual session up. And just a reminder, Fifi MUNRO, animalhealing.net.au, absolutely gifted and talented woman. Someone that I'm very appreciative that she gets involved with us and she takes her time to do this, because let me tell you, having to ask 40 odd questions and then write down all the answers and do all this while you're trying to hold on to a connection, surely it can't be easy. Surely this is a high maintenance job for her. So I really appreciate Fifi for everything she does for us. And until next time, I'll see you later. I hope you've enjoyed being in the rabbit hole, and we'll see you guys out in the bush again for another video. Take it easy. See you later.